Hi, it's the 31st of July 2021. The weather has turned somewhat cooler, there's been more rain. It's not as hot as it was, but still good. And this is on electricity chaos, and it's a short video, so hopefully you'll watch it. This is real true education, not fake news. Don't have my big sign here, just a moment. And one of the problems I had with my channel was that I thought my camera was defective. It wouldn't record properly and it wouldn't load them on YouTube. And then I discovered it was my laptop, which is less than a year old. It won't recognize the SD card for some reason, and when I put it in another friend's computer, it worked all right. So lucky I didn't dispose of the camera. Now, the demand for electricity in the Republic of Ireland last night was 3169 at 2 o'clock. And 7 or 8 years ago, that would be 2220. I used to watch it about 2012 to 2016, and around 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m., it would go down to 2220. That's the lowest demand, and so it's an indication of how things are. Yet that was 3169 last night. So there's almost 1,000 megawatts extra being drawn. Now, if we look at the 22nd of July, which is very hot weather, and there was nothing from wind turbines. There was a little bit from turbines last night. There was nothing on the 22nd of July, and so on that, on the 22nd, it was 33346, and again, traditionally that would be 2220. So there you see a huge difference, almost 1,200 megawatts on the 22nd of July 2021, which is more than was last night, the 31st of July, on the early morning. So what's happening here is quite obvious. Wind turbines use a lot of electricity, but when there's some wind, they're generating a little. So they may not need to draw as much electricity, but when there's no wind, they're drawing unbelievable amounts of electricity to face the wind, to adjust the blades, onboard computers, lighting, and all sorts of things, all pulling on fossil fuel power because there is no other source. This is the paradox of wind energy, as it were, or the stupidity of it. Now, there are there's another source now, is data centers. And data centers and wind farms. Data centers hold the information that we store on Facebook and YouTube and everything else, and they store it in a microprocessor. And a data center is like a big shed of about 20 acres, and there's little pigeonholes all along, and each one has the little processor, the electronics go into it, and then it has a big fan to pull air out through it to cool it. And in the hot weather, it needs more cooling, more air than in the cold weather. Now, I won't go as far to say that they're refrigerated. I'm sure in some cases they may, but data centers draw a huge amount of electricity. And there's a video on there about the economic future and what it's looking like, and about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And one of the questions was asked of some genius, very well educated person. I mean, isn't Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, are they not environmentally damaging? And he said no, because there's enough wind energy and solar energy now to run them. That's fake. There isn't enough, and there never can be enough. So we have a huge draw. It looks to me like, of those figures I showed you, about 1/3 is wind energy drawing out this power, and the other 2/3 is data centers, and they're set to grow. They're set to grow. So just understand that these data centers are massive consumers of electricity, and as our government's policy in Ireland is to invite them all in, and then I myself as a farmer, as I said before, I have to get rid of cattle, and I'm being fined because these are gobbling up all the electricity, and people vote for the governments that do this. Would you believe that? Now, one of the things is that wind energy damages conventional plant. In a conventional power station, you have a blade like that, just like a child's whirly, or a fan belt, a fan on the car. You know, the big fan that brings back the air, or even a cooling fan for the hot weather, so air conditioning. So you have a fan like that, and then you have a straight blade, and then you have a fan and a straight blade. Now, the idea is that the very highly intensive hot steam under an enormous power is forced in, drives the fan round, it goes through a sort of a funnel. As it goes on down, it gains in speed, it makes up for the speed it loses through the fans. But every other one has a straight stator, one that doesn't move and one that does. So as the steam passes this, it pushes around, and then it's straightened in this one, and then it meets another one like this, and it makes it go around as well. And these run at very, very, very close tolerances. You could be talking about 0.5 millimeter when they're warm, and that's so that there's no place for the steam to go, only to turn the turbine. And if a blade breaks off, a front blade, it runs back in and it jams. And if bits of it break on down the way, it can destroy the whole turbine, the whole steam turbine. And that appears to be now happening because as the turbine is balancing wind, the wind is coming up and down like this. This turbine is meant to run constantly for 3 to 4 months without ever changing, or maybe going up and down a little over a period to meet demand, gradually up and down. And anyone that's used to hearing a lorry going up a hill or a tractor under pressure, you'll find the engine slowing down. You'll find the pull coming on it when the load is put on. Even for the Republic of Ireland, which I'm referring to, the load is very, very heavy in everyday terms. It's huge. Take a huge, massive shaft to power this country without it ringing off. So the bits are breaking off, and at the moment, Whitegate is down. And that's a combined cycle gas turbine. Tarbert, which runs on oil, is down. It runs on heavy fuel oil. Dublin Bay is a combined cycle gas turbine. It's down. Huntstown, I missed it here. Now, Huntstown is said to be down because of a transformer issue. It's a long time down, so I don't know what the story is there. I won't say it's that there. Poolbeg is a combined cycle gas turbine. So there again for you there. Whitegate, Tarbert, Huntstown, Dublin Bay, Poolbeg. Right? And there's the capacity. 444, 243, 400, 405 and 146. And that's a total of 1,638 generating capacity that's down. And all last week there was no wind, so what was it being replaced by? Well, they're installing diesel generators by the busload. Anything at all. The diesel generator can take that. The diesel engine with the pistons is the one thing can take that change in load. It can govern it to do that without damaging it. And they're loading in these. So as we were told, and as I had always said, this thing is a whole scam. It doesn't replace fossil fuel generation at all. They're actually dumping all the problems with wind over onto fossil fuel generation, and they think they can get away with that, but they can't. In fact, when a piece of metal goes in to the turbine, I cannot see how anything other than a whole new generation set costing millions would suffice, and we get them by. These things are closed down as long as I can remember, all this year in most of the cases. They don't seem to be able to tackle it at all. I don't know, are the people involved telling government, or does the government know, or is there any point in telling government? So that's the situation, folks. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. We're being proven right. I'm being proven right in many cases, and really they're dumping it over on us. The cost of electricity going up and up and up. Where it's all going to end, I don't know. Possibly in blackouts this winter, I don't know. But they're rushing in the huge, big diesel engines, big traditional like it's in a lorry, only bigger, only massive big ones like a ship, and they're driving the generators. And as I say, they can take the abuse a lot better, but they're harder on fuel. They're not as environmentally friendly. A lot of the gases that run through the engine that push down the piston are emitted into the air with plenty of heat and plenty of pressure and plenty of power there, just dumped out into the air. So they're replacing an efficient combined cycle gas turbine system with diesel engines which are inefficient. Folks, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down and comment under whatever you want to say. Thank you very much.